Columbina is finally here after a 3-year-long wait from her first reveal in the Winter Night Lazo trailer featuring all of the Fatui. Now that she has officially become playable, I want to take a closer look at her design and the conversation surrounding it. I want to begin by saying I'm not an expert in character design. I find it fascinating and that's why I talk about it. As with any of my videos, you are welcome to agree or disagree, just remember to keep it respectful. Right away, there are two elements to her design that piqued my interest: the eye mask over her face and the water-like heels. Having a character that keeps her eyes closed is unique to the Genshin cast, and those heels are really something else. I never would have thought of that. Watching the cosplay community get super creative and crafty with solutions to pull this off has been such a treat to see. Right away, her outfit is a collective of very light colors, mainly white and blue. Her hair is the biggest contrast, with it being black on the outside and this magenta-like color on the inside. I actually really like it when designers contrast the hair in this way. Though Columbina is not an Archon, she is the Archon-like equivalent as the moon goddess in this patch. So it was nice to see the same dual hair color like the other Archons, but it's not ombre like the rest of them. Venti's black hair fades into teal, Zhongzi's into orange, Nahida to green, etc. Having her hair not be a fade into another color, but split from the outside to the inside of the hair is a nice way to complement her position as an Archon equivalent. Or maybe I'm reading into it too much. Who knows? I like it.
Editing Nox here, I do realize that the front of her hair does have that ombre style, but not the back.
I actually really love that if you zoom in on her design, you can see various sparkles. The eye mask is the most notable part that sparkles, but you can see it around her clothing as well. Absolutely gorgeous when she does finally open them. I do wish that they stuck with the idea of her being fully blind. A tiny spoiler for the latest Archon quest in version 6.3, she states that she'll save her eyes to see the important moments, indicating that she's not actually blind. I don't think it was ever written into the story that she was going to be fully blind, but I was a bit bummed out. I like the idea of her sensing the world around her with such accuracy because of her status as a goddess, but I don't hate the idea of her saving her eyes for the special moments for her either. Believe it or not, there's actually been some critiques against Columbina's design. I've read players saying that her clothes blend into each other, that her hair feels out of place, that the legs are too bare, or that the pink hair should actually been blue to complement the rest of the outfit. Let's take a closer look by going back to one of her trailers. This shot from this trailer caught my attention because she's not wearing the longer cape-like piece of clothing. It's just the dress underneath. Almost every character has a lot of layers going on, so it's nice to see shots like these to get a better understanding of how the heck they are layering it. When she puts the bigger piece of clothing on, it acts like a little coat. We also see a lot of white ribbon tied around her limbs, but this detail is a lot harder to spot. I actually do really like the colors they used for her outfit, but I do think that it suffers from a lack of contrast. If the ribbons had a little light blue gradient in some places or a light blue outline, we would have a much easier time seeing it against her light skin. The designer has used this blue to help break up the main shapes in her main dress area, so I don't see why they didn't do this for the white ribbons so that they don't blend in as bad. I think that a little blue color would go a long way, and a lot of people would be less bothered by the barren legs. That being said, I love the angel and the moon motifs. I think my favorite part of her design is the angel wing headpiece on the back of her head. It's pretty, symbolic, and this helps greatly in making her silhouette stand out. I noticed that in the 2D arts, I like the design a lot more as opposed to her 3D model. This is definitely a personal nitpick, but there's this smaller trail of white that extends downward beyond her calves. This seems a little unnecessary to me, especially since her cape-like clothing is already longer in the back. She didn't need an additional piece of white sparkly fabric to go down even further. But in the 2D art, it looks just fine. I do think that her really short dress should have some frills instead of just being cut off. I guess you could potentially argue that the curve cut off can resemble that of a crescent moon, but I'd say that's a bit of a stretch. Her underdress does have a skirt-like cut, and if they just made the frills a little longer, I think it would have suited her a lot better. Honestly, there's not much that I'd change about this design. I'd utilize more of the blue colors and the ribbons to help break up the shapes so they don't blend in as badly with each other. But I like how Columbina turned out. An extra idea for some more color variation would be to add the light blue flowers to her dress in some capacity, maybe framing the bottom. It becomes an important symbol for her strength, as if she gets weaker, the flowers turn to pale, if she's angry they turn red, and if she's normal they're this nice light blue. And I think the nice light blue would be a nice pop of color against the white and the darker blues. She has sleeves, but she's not wearing it like an actual sleeve or even a detached sleeves. I'm so happy that they broke away from this for her design. I love how unique her shoes are, if you can even call it that, and the way that they chose to animate her walking around the overworld was pure genius. Gravity is different on the moon, and having her be able to float around is perfect. Except she apparently can't float over the water. That was a missed opportunity. The Columbina of today does feel different from the one that was first shown to us in the Fatui Nylazo trailer, but I'm not disappointed. I think it was a smart move to have most, if not all, the Fatui Harbingers wear a large, fluffy coat so the designers could have more freedom and wiggle room when they make their designs later down the line. Even with the little bit of Columbina that we saw, we can already see that they made a change to her hairpiece. There was a white part leading towards her angel wing hair that they removed in the final version. She still had the white bow visible, her eye mask, and the little white strands framing her face. I like that she was the main singer in the trailer and her singing continued to be part of her character when we met her in Non-Cry. Side note, I'd love to get an accessory for all of the playable Fatui characters to get that coat from that trailer. That would be so cool. I have to include this in here as I got a ton of comments about it on my character splash art video. Yes, Columbina's full animation turns the entire screen black and it's kind of funny. Don't get me wrong, the art is gorgeous. I believe that she could have benefited from some negative space instead of turning the entire screen into a massive blob. Some dreams say that Varka's splash art is not a huge blob, but apparently he looks very similar to another character that we love, and I can't wait to see how many people get spooked during their polls. It'll probably be me because I'm not lucky with my 50-50s. Recently, I talked about some overused female design tropes in Genshin Impact, and Columbina does escape from it, but narrowly. She doesn't have detached sleeves, but she has floating sleeves. She has some of the most unique shoes, if you want to call them that, but her design is way short in the front and much longer in the back. Though I didn't mention this in that video, she does have the split hair curse, as many of the fandom likes to call it. I understand why this happens so we can see the intricacies of their design from the back, but it would be nice to have longer haired characters escape from this too, more like Chevreuse. If you want to learn more about that conversation, go ahead and check out that video next. I think you might enjoy it. And as one last note, I'm not going over much of her personality in this video, more so just her design. I have noticed that the Fatui has taken a drastic shift in the story, and maybe I'll make a video on that, I'm not sure yet. As for this video, thank you so much for watching. If you like Columbina, I hope you had some luck in your polls. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. I love to talk about character design and gacha games along with some other stuff, so I hope to see you in the next one.